we'll bring the TA if it's open. It's great in the meta, but it didn't really fit the team, and we're seeing kind of a run back of game number 1.
It would have been a pure run back if they picked Earth Spirit here, but instead they're like, okay, we'll put the Veno in your face. Are we going to put it mid lane? Are we going to put Lesh mid lane? Is it going to be like a 4-position snaking jungle Venomancer? I'm glad that they didn't go for the Earth Spirit again, because I think Insania would have had a game plan for it, and Beastcoast have kind of changed the system a little bit.
I do believe that the Venomancer being revealed this early is quite different than it was last game. Mag Lina offlane does virtually nothing to tilt the Veno. What we were talking about, where I wanted to see Taiga potentially rotate bottom. If you looked at Liquid's draft, Venomancer is a hero that has to be punished by rotations. I originally thought he was going to be offlane. He's a hero that, because of how much free damage he has in his kit and the inability to go aggressive through his wards, you have to gank him. That's the only way to deal with Veno. Who's going to gank him last game?
Like, you're talking mid lane or side lane?
Yeah, I was talking about it in the draft side lane, but he is mid lane. It's the same hero, right? So if you look at Mag Lina as an offlane duo, neither of them rotates. Oracle PA, neither of them is going to rotate, and then TA. So last game, Veno was a great pick because of that.
Yeah.
And it was allowed to do its job because of that.
And part of it is still in play here. Liquid still have the Oracle, so it's going to have to come from your 4.
But now I want to see like a Willow for Taiga here, right?
Okay, Willow.
Like I want to see something like that. That says it's going to show up in the lane and Tusk ink the Veno. That's what I want to see.
Clockwork, maybe.
Clockwork would be decent. I think Clockwork's also very nice against Lush.
10 seconds remaining.
All of these sound good to me so far. But the Lina, I think, was what made the Veno look good.
Yeah.
And it's just because every hero has strengths and weaknesses. The strength of Lina, really strong dual lane. You saw the early kills against the Void. Weakness, does not rotate.
Is there any possibility that Beastcoast...
What are you grinning about over there?
The way that Tsunami's been like stroking the punch body pillow is just so distracting. Like, it is so distracting to me. I don't know why. I keep trying to look over at the screen. I just see him like stroking the body pillow. I'm like, what is he doing? But let's talk about what the teams are doing, because as you've already brought up, we're seeing in a lot of ways similarities throughout all of the bands as well to what we saw last time. Some slight deviations here. A direct answer to the Earth Spirit. Oh, okay.
They
what do we think of this?
Fire their own. That is kind of similar to Lina, though.
Yeah, she does not move around very much.
You don't move. I'm not a fan, actually.
Is Mike 1-position Snapfire viable?
No, let's just drop that one out.
Okay.
That's like I'm in party queue with my friends and the opponent's never gonna gank.
He played it in DPC games.
Wait, did he actually?
Yeah.
1 position? I thought he played it mid. Did he play a 1-position
I thought not season 2. I feel like season 1, but I mean, you covered Europe, not me. So
I feel like I remember him playing a core snap mid, but not a carry.
What's the difference between 1 position and mid lane?
1 position's meant to be the guy that scales in survivability and does exactly what you saw K1 Hector do last game.
Oh, and Snapfire can't do that from
and I think the mid laner can be more of a glass cannon damage dealer as the game scales, and there's just no way Snapfire ever becomes survivable.
Then it looks like this Veno mid is going to go unpunished yet again.
Yeah, that's another freaking Schofield special. Tiny. Just a replacement for the Earth Spirit.
And they give Koikfa a more active hero, which I'm happy about. You don't seem too keen on it.
I feel like they're just doing the exact same thing on Beastcoast, and Liquid hasn't changed conceptually what they're doing with their draft. It's literally a 4-position that doesn't rotate, and an offlane that buffs their heroes.
Okay, but I do think that Legion Commander has more pickoff potential with a +1 than Mag does.
You're dealing with Veno wards, so the difference between Legion and Mag is that Mag can actually get on top of Veno without a blink.
Sure.
And then also, you're dealing with a Leshrac, who's the signature hero for killing you before you kill him.
Yeah.
And Legion struggles with damage before she gets a bunch of dual damage up.
It's true.
So I don't see any prime dual targets. So I think she's all about press the attack. And they're not going to give her a prime dual target. Like, I'm down for like an Ursa or I'm actually down for a Troll right now. Troll looks sick for Hector. I don't know if they actually play it. I don't remember seeing it in any of their games. But you just want some man fight right-click hero against the TA Legion duo.
Well, it seems like Liquid's direction is that maybe they just want to stay alive longer. Like Mag.
That is a carry Abaddon potentially.
Oh yeah.
I'll mention that as a possibility.
Okay.
We're calling out Abaddon quite a lot in game number 1. It's something that you thought we could potentially see. We're going to see it in game number 2. I do want to take a second though to look away from the draft and actually talk about the stakes here. I want to double check one thing with you guys. Both of these teams are like the 99.9%.
Liquid is not.
Liquid's a little bit lower.
Liquid needs, I think, top 6.
Okay.
Top 8 maybe.
No, they need top 6. Top 8.
Yeah, Beastcoast got first and second through the 2 seasons, so they're almost guaranteed. Well, Liquid got second this season and 4th last season, so they do need a decent placement. Yeah.
Really important for them here to start off strong, but
yeah, if they go 0-2 against Beastcoast here, this is a yikes for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. Lots of people are going to go 0-2 against Beastcoast.
That's true.
They're going to be
Beastcoast is sick.
They're going to be going.
They really are. The question is, does Team Liquid have some of the tools to at least draw this one? Why Jug? Why this Jug ban from Beastcoast?
Just the sustain. The built-in magic immunity against your primary damage dealers, which are all magic, Lesh, Veno, Tiny, but then also you sustain your teammates, because we saw what happened last game with the Oracle, where you were able to stall out a lot of the fight from Insania's side, but eventually all of that damage in the AoE, you could only save one guy, so the Jug would have been very nice here.
That's why I like the Legion, because
I can't
Lifestealer, and then you mean the one next to Liquid's last
Troll? What is that?
Team Liquid's turn to pick.
I said it's carry a bad, and there you go. It is carry a bad.
Oh man.
I'm glad my homework paid off.
Bristleback! Choose your hero.
Liquid rounded out with the Bristleback.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't like Liquid's draft again. I think they just did the exact same thing against a concept that I don't think Beastcoast like fluked them there. I don't think that was like Beastcoast hard outplaying them. I think both teams had their moments, and I think both teams played their drafts pretty well last game. And I really do think that Beastcoast draft like reigned supreme in the strategical aspect of Dota. You just picked last pick Bristle into an ancient apparition.
Yep.
Like,
and they saw it.
They saw.
I think that last man's a witch doctor, by the way. So Liquid may have been.
I thought that it was. Yeah.
We'll ban a troll, a carry, in case the.
But then also it might be a
support Abaddon or
support. They didn't get to carry Abaddon.
Yeah.
Like, who do you duel? Please tell me, Koikfa.
5 seconds.
Who do you plan to duel this game?
That's a good question.
Are you dueling the carry Abaddon? Are you? What do you press the attacking? The Gale? You can't press the attack any of Tiny stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can't remove any of that. It's
with the shard, the spell immunity is pretty value this game, though.
That's true.
But
literally none of their spells are purgeable.
Yeah.
Other than Gale.
And I don't know how you kill Abaddon either, because he's just gonna
I'm predicting this to be the most useless game of Koikfa I've ever seen, and it's not his fault.
I mean, you were more in favor of Beast Coast drafts going into game number 1, but not like this.
Yeah.
I mean, this time, this is actually the most animated I think I've seen you in the years that we've known each other.
Sorry. I know I'm usually very bored.
Heated.
No.
I'm just messing with you. No, I do believe that.
Actually, you know.
Jeez. I set him up for this one, guys. Quick. Into the draft analysis. Yeah, I think Beast Coast has just overwhelming damage, and I don't think that the sustain from Liquid, they're going to stay alive, but then what? That's kind of my problem.
Yeah, and I think that also the thing that you eloquently pointed to is it's just like, has their strategy changed at all?
Yeah.
Did they learn nothing from game number 1? And it's very, you don't have much leeway. You need to learn something from game 1 in these best of 2s, but we're going to be jumping into the game and think about how crazy this start would be for Beast Coast, doing fantastic, getting first place and second place in the DPC seasons. But the one thing that they didn't get to do last time was go to the major. This is a great way to start off the second major of the year. Let's see what they can do in this game.
We can still do this.
Prepare for battle.
What we're seeing? What just happened?
你气不气？你气不气？
お前はもう死んでいる。
I can't believe what we're seeing! What just happened?
Showing from Beast Coast in Game 1, Lacoste, and very similar draft here in Game 2. And the panel talking about Liquid needing to learn from Game 1. Do you think it's all right? They've gone for a very similar style here?
Both teams kind of have a similar style in both of these games, where they feel very stubborn what they want to do against each other, and no one wants to back off. They made the small adjustments. Instead of having too heavy physical damage cores dealing on side of Liquid, now it's Bristleback. He can still deal damage with the quills, be more annoying than Phantom Assassin, but also relies on some of the right clicks. This time around, they also brought in another way of dispelling things. So they have Oracle and they have a Legion Commander. I'm surprised that we didn't see too much of a Legion Commander in Southeast Asia and mostly China. This hero has been like prioritized early on because of the dispel mechanic and the shard. Like free BKB, it's just insanely good. This time around, as panel discussed, not too many things to dispel. Like you have a Cold Feet, you have stuff from the Venomancer. I don't know where the damage is gonna come from. Like even with the duel, they have, of course, Templar Assassin jumping in. You have Snapfire ulti, Scatterblast, the Lil Shredder, but it's not gonna be that easy. All these heroes are very tanky. My concern on the other side is position 4 Tiny. I don't see this hero winning the games. I don't know. I've seen so many games. I've been watching a lot of regions. I feel the hero, when played on position 4, has like below 10% win rate.
It's felt like that in SA. I mean, Tiny was a first phase pick for a lot of the teams, very often flexed between not only position 2 and 4, but also that carry Tiny came out from time to time.
Carry Tiny was also a thing in Southeast Asia. Position 5 Tiny, I gotta be honest, looked much better than position 4 Tiny.
Well, we'll see how he does. Of course, a lot of his heroes were banned out. There's no Nyx, no Earth Spirit. Could have maybe had the Tusk, I think, in that draft, but still going to be in that pos for Tiny as top lane. Stinger, Ancient Apparition with a K1 carry Abaddon. Very similar in terms of playstyle and itemization as the Wraith King we've seen in the past from K1. Very much that phase boots stick. Or Mickey, the body blocks in that. Well, jump in from Whisper and Schofield thanks to the toss back. Gets the first blood.
Whisper again on his last strike. Surprised that this wasn't touched at all, because he is the hero expert. You have a funny story to tell about what happened after the first game.
Wow.
Do you? Well, did it fog or was it you who told me that?
I don't remember now.
That Bulba came in.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but it was you, okay.
It was me, I'm just losing my mind here. Yeah, Bulba went and praised Whisper for his last round performance. I mean, we've been saying for Season 1 and Season 2, he's basically the carry of the team. He's that driving force, the ability to come from the off lane, put pressure on, take towers, and itemize incredibly well. And Chris Luck, more of a pos 3 from the mid lane, especially playing a hero like Venomancer.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you see someone doing that wall, it's okay to say, you know, he's doing great. Maybe get into their heads for the future matchups as well. Venomancer on the mid lane, 6 CS, Templar Assassin 12. First game, he did much better on the Venomancer. It was a bit closer than what it is right now.
And Sumail doing the same old thing, pushing out that wave, farming the small camp, keeping himself all nice and topped up. And we'll have the water runes to play around with here as well, as he's got that bottle ready on Sumail's Templar Assassin. Always got to be very wary though of Chris Luck once he hits level 3, you know, level 5. You've got these extra points in the Gale and the Sting. While Insania, another life handed over to Whisper, absorbing up Liquid. That bottom lane so far not going particularly well. And a Split Earth connecting there. Tiny going to try and chase forward. They're chipping away at Mickey, forcing the magic stick.
Usually Tiny position 4, they start with the Boots of Speed and the set of tangos. This time around he adjusted the item build, went for a Windlace, brought an early magic stick. You're playing against Bristleback and Oracle, so you still have a movement speed to potentially close the gap, get a good toss back, and still have that mana regen.
Yeah, looks like Chris Luck still a little behind the Templar Assassin, but not by much, especially considering it is a small camp that's being farmed out there. Sumail finding that bounty rune to refill. And we'll be looking towards those rotations later on though. Schofield, that Tiny. I think BSJ was mentioning the ability to shut down the Veno is through rotations, and Liquid don't really have that option, whereas Beastcoast have plenty of it, just through Schofield himself.
Yeah, I don't think you want to gank Venomancer. That's the hero that you say, well, just let him be.
Just let him do what he wants. Dodge the lane, stack up some Ancients and farm that instead. But yeah, this K1 Abaddon, same build every game. Gets out the Chainmail, pop the Magic Wand, the Phase Boots, and then into the Radiance, like I was saying earlier, very much that Wraith King kind of style. While Sumail forced the TP back to Fountain. Won't be dying, but some superb pressure there from Chris Luck, shoving his opponent out of the lane already.
And he can actually pick up both water runes, be full HP after using the bottles. He knows that there's not going to be any rotation. Sumail got forced to buy a Boots of Speed there to get faster from the base to the mid lane.
K1. Does Tiger have anything left to give? Doesn't look like it. So K1, very low on regen, not too many resources remaining. I don't believe Stinger has anything to give him either.
Radiant's bottom
He's
tower
bringing
is
a
under
healing
attack.
salve and a tango, so K1, let's see if he decides to actually stay in the lane, because big wave pushing, Koikwa might snipe him actually.
Yeah, he's wrapping around their top lane. And he's just gonna walk into the dire creep wave though, can't get in towards the Abaddon. Drags the wave across. Try and hold it back a little further, and now a bit of damage towards Stinger and K1, but no finishing touch there from the Legion.
The big play there would be, let's say if Taiga just stands behind the tier 1 tower and does not allow them to actually get courier. Like, he can one-shot the couriers, two-shot, doesn't have a little shredder, so needs 2 attacks, but would be pretty dope.
Yeah,
because AA
doesn't the regen.
put any pressure on you, didn't even have enough mana to use. A cold feed can zone you out.
Now bottom lane, have they recovered yet, Liquid? Doesn't look like it. Insane is tossed back into the waiting arms of Whisper. 2-man split earth with a diabolic edict. And Mickey, he's stacking up quill sprays onto Whisper, but he's got 1 charges, the ability to run back, but all these stacks they're building so heavily. Whisper needs another split earth, but dodged and sidestepped. Well done by Mickey, recovering in that bot lane at long last, whilst Tiger does cookie away from K1.
Easy clap there. Hellbear Smasher gets the last hit. No XP, no gold.
Oh.
And also no TP. So Insania has to get a TP for himself.
He's going to spend money on it.
Radiant's middle tower
Looks like that
is
was a
under
poison
attack.
overthrown towards Sumail. Not lethal to him. So a quick little bottle refill with a bounty rune, but Insania not TPing mid to refill it fully. Has to play the lane, sticking into this 2-1-2 setup, which is very similar to game 1, right? Liquid kind of locked into their lanes, no real roaming or...
No one's even checking out the runes. The water runes are free to be picked up. 6 minutes in, no one's going for it. Everyone heavily focusing on the lane. When the first patch came in with the water runes, everyone was roaming around. We see 2 bounty runes on side of Beastcoast not even being picked up. That's how focused on the lanes they are.
And very much focused on that lane, try and stop any kind of snowball play, but the cookie onto Venomancer. Tiger rotation doesn't pay off, and Schofield arriving. Trap will slow him down, Sumail turns around, back onto the Tiny, the avalanche there, and Schofield thinking about the toss play. Tiger with another trap helping him, but they can't stick on the Tiny, while Chris Luck laying that damage over time, pretty thick towards Tiger. Don't
Overtime damage.
It's going to deny
Yes,
Tiger.
again.
There it is. Well done by Sumail.
That's something that I haven't seen happening. Like, do you get a TP after someone denies you?
Oh, that's a good question. Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure, Lacoste. All right, it's another move, though, where Liquid, brings someone into mid trying to defend Sumail. And the response from Beastcoast is powerful, while Insania, under this big neutral creep stack, being burnt alive by the Pulse Nova, gets himself a bit of distance, though, and
He's too
Whisper
slow.
taking the brunt of the damage from Mickey. Can't catch up to the Oracle.
Mickey is a level 7. Any stacks right now? No. Like Liquid, a team that is usually known for making a ton of stacks. Once again, heavily focusing on the lanes. A lot of slow top.
Koikwa, yeah, the Curse of Avernus with the Vortex, slowing Koikwa down. He's got himself boots, chainmail, so armor and move speed, but K1 slaps him. Tiger has arrived into that top spot with a cookie forward, catching out K1's Abaddon. He's dropping incredibly low, but the phase boots, the move speed, and the ability to just slip away from danger there.
Radiant structure.
K1 mid lane.
He needs to be careful about the trap. I think he knows where the trap is, so we'll just avoid it. That would be pretty big if he gets a kill with a trap on carry Abaddon.
So push onto the mid tier 1 though, kill off Sumail, pressure into that objective with Whisper's rotation. And that was the big point the panel made, the ability for Liquid to get out of their lanes. If the laning stage breaks down too soon and a toss back like this, Koikwa into the Chris Luck.
He can just run it down.
They've got an objective to claim as well. Tower gone, kill after kill, Beastcoast are on a roll.
Vesper, again, great rotation, plays well. The laning stage rotates to the mid lane. Same 2 heroes from the mid and the off lane, and they're gonna use smoke that was not under the vision.
9-minute smoke rotation, 4 heroes strong, coming to bottom lane. Mickey's out of mana, so the Tombo, Avalanche, the toss, he's looking for it, gets the mana back, and the Oracle put into Whisper's damage over time. But they want Mickey. He's the bigger target. The block out from the Plague Ward stops his retreat.
One more time. Chris Luck going for the same item build. Bottle straight into Sanj, which he will upgrade into Hammond's Halberd. Great against both of these heroes.
Super good. Schofield maybe playing a little too far forward this time. Getting burst down quite quickly, and Insania, oh, they can't finish him off. Even with Tiger there to help him, the tiny scouts both support, safeguards Whisper's Lash, and allows Beastcoast to keep on pushing.
Rotation to the bottom. Bristleback is there trying to find his Vanguard. Has a magic wand plus a hood, which is on cooldown.
He's going to be using that pretty much at any given moment against this Whisper Lash. The tiny combo. So much magic burst damage from Beastcoast.
Also, it's going to be very hard to just gank Abba. They don't have too much control. He can't really duel him. You have borrowed time. I'm not sure how this Abba dies right now. K1 having a really good time staying at the top of the net worth.
Ice Blast misses. That could have been a snipe onto Mickey with Whisper and Schofield moving forward, but in the end it'll be Liquid holding on to that bottom lane. Safe and sound for now. But the map is starting to open up with that early mid-tier 1. It means that Beastcoast can start to play quite aggressively into the bottom jungle area, while also stacking and defending their own triangle. Ancients being built up, large cap stacked as well. But you're just forcing Liquid away from that bottom tier 1, away from their jungle, so they can't farm too efficiently.
Templar says it doesn't feel comfortable joining fights into Venomancer. At this point, Bristleback is that front line. Still against Ancient Apparition, never gonna feel that comfortable. You know, one AA blast, they have mixed damage coming out from the Leshrac. Edict is maxed out, so you're also gonna need some armor on top of it. Seems like they're not gonna defend it. This is a free tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Schofield collecting some XP, getting the levels.
Yeah, and probably a bit of gold towards his Blink Dagger as well. And all this money flowing into the pockets of the supports as Mickey runs forward. Frontline, like you said, allowing for the kisses and the duel onto the Leshrac. They get out a good poison over and the Ice Blast arriving. Good Fate Edict blocks out some of the damage there. Could be turned on, but the False Promise saves him up. Beautiful from Insania.
Double damage purged off.
Buys the time for the retreat out from Liquid. Mickey's alive, Kuikfa survives, all thanks to the Oracle.
Having that healing cell will keep him alive. Leshrac, he's the one who's gonna die. Mid lane, Sumail trying to get some tower damage. Everyone is super low on side of Liquid. Good thing about this Beastcoast draft is they don't rely on any cooldowns. Leshrac, AA, Abba. Like, Abba is still not going to join any fights until he gets the Radiance up, but all other heroes, they don't rely on cooldowns at all. I mean, you can say the same thing about Liquid's lineup. There's Mortimer's Kisses, there's Oracle Ulti, Legion Commander, so in terms of cooldown, Beastcoast's lineup feels much better.
They set up Tiger Mickey, they wanted the Lash, but Schofield was ready and waiting for them. Now, speaking of cooldowns, in the previous game, you know, the Faceless Void offered them so much in terms of catching the Oracle, stopping the saves coming out from there. Do you feel like it's a problem that K1 won't have the same kind of lockdown ability?
Their stun is pretty much tiny, so I feel they should try to give him some farm up a Blink Dagger so he can position himself. Like Leshrac landing a stun. They have slows. They have a lot of slows coming up from the Ancient Apparition, who's maxing out the Ice Vortex, plus a Venomancer, making you very sluggish. Few Dispel mechanics on Team Liquid side.
To become a steamroller and just move towards your opponent, slowly rolling over them, rather than making those snappy, decisive jumps.
With this type of a lineup, they can go and take a tower by force. Place down a couple of Venom Wards, Edict, and tower will die. Exactly what they're doing right now.
Edging forward, little by little. Schofield very aggressive, and under the kisses, likely dead. Trying to dodge them, but Insania with the burst damage clears through the Tiny, and they stop the push onto the tier 1. This is also an opportunity for Sumail to claim his first objective. As the Dragonlance moving into the Desolator now. Top of the net worth, 7,000 in the hands of Sumail's TA. Liquid still in a very good spot, dead even game by the metrics. Not a massive net worth lead for Beastcoast whatsoever.
Still tower full HP. They cannot get anything, but meanwhile on the mid lane, Sumail managed to kill the tier 1 tower there, which is very important going into Deso after finishing the Dragonlance. If you're tuning in, if you don't play too much Dota but love to watch, wondering why Templar Assassin doesn't build a Blink Dagger, especially in this scenario where there's so much overtime damage, no point to get it. Dragonlance gives you that extra attack range, plus a new talent, level 10, plus 100 Sideblade range. You feel like a budget sniper, pretty much.
Yeah, splashing out onto everybody. There's a wonderful build. Beastcoast regrouping. Radiant's timing is pretty soon. Not far off it for K1. And that's going to be the main driving force there for Beastcoast to start playing towards the Roshan, these extra objectives, and definitely looking and angling for team fights so they can kick off against Liquid.
Big timing is that, Radiance. Now they have it. Do they have a smoke?
It looks like they're not going to need the smoke, right? They're following through on the plan that you pointed out. They're just going to group up together, brute force into objectives, and move as that one unit. Pack tactics here from Beastcoast. Together, they are strong.
Tactics, yeah, got it.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
K1 finishing off the huge stack that they made for him. Even pops the ulti. It's a level 2 ulti, so 50-second cooldown. We'll be able to go back to base, rejoin a fight. It's being pinged out. Mickey, he knows what's happening, where K1 is.
Me too, but they're not going to be able to get there and do too much. And Mickey has given up also on pushing that bottom tier 1 for a little while. Liquid looking like they want to start something here. With that dual and DD rune, Schofield burst immediately. The Ice Blast comes in, but they've still got the save from Insania, holding high ground. And Sumail with a double kill, going for the TP out. No stuns to catch him. So Whisper and K1, I mean, they're under these kisses. A lot of magic damage from the Snapfire as Tiger forcing Beastcoast to start to retreat. Cookie in. K1, he's in a bit of trouble. He's dead. No ulti for him. Whisper's going to get caught by the Fortune's End. A triple kill for Sumail.
Insania actually drops the Edict. Went a bit too close, dies, but a great fight for Team Liquid. They get the good opening with the duel. Right now, Koiko sitting at 20 damage, maxing out the press the attack, extra attack speed on a Templar Assassin, plus the spell mechanic, now going inside the pit. Once Bristleback gets that Aghanim Scepter, this is going to be a huge problem thrown at the Beastcoast. One of the best, if not the best, Aghanim Scepter upgrade in the game right now.
It's huge, yeah.
Even after the nerf.
A huge morale boost for Liquid as well there. Win a team fight, take Roshan for your Templar Assassin, take it away from Beastcoast as well, who were starting to pick up momentum. So a good mental reset there for Liquid to take control of their triangle area and now be able to look for fights of their own. TA going into that Aghanim Scepter next too. So the map maneuverability going to be huge for Sumail. And Beastcoast, that was meant to be their timing, wasn't it? The Radiance on the Abaddon.
Surprised they didn't go with Abba. He decided to farm the big stack. Maybe they were afraid. Stolen, two of the best heroes in the game to clear the stacks with. You have Templar Assassin plus a Bristleback, so he wanted to make sure. Still, they're in this game. I think the problem is that Sumail is getting quite a lot more compared to the game number 1 on Templar Assassin, level 15, going into Aghanim Scepter next. At least that's what he has queued up, and then you can be anywhere on the map. Let's see, he wants to find Grobo. That's the item that he's looking for, even more attack range.
Very important for him. Looks like Snap has found herself another shawl. So those kisses going to be doing even more damage. Is that another rune, another double damage rune in fact for TA. A massive factor in that previous victory for them. As Insania going to Fortune's End off the Gale. Chris Luck walking high ground to K1. Moving towards the Oracle while an Avalanche Choss in the back lines. Legion Commander pop the Blade Mail and Mickey. Press the attack on him, so hitting into Whisper real hard. Pops the Greaves, tops back across. K1 still up and running. Borrow time going. Chris Luck gets out the ulti, but Mickey's still running forward, and it's DD Root TA shredding through them. Sumail looks perfectly fine to pick off Chris Luck. The Avalanche not even going to... Oh, the toss back! Doesn't buy him enough time. He dies mid-air, and Mickey can get back onto Schofield. They pop the Aegis, but another win for Liquid.
They lose a Legion Commander has a hood. Maybe he wants to upgrade that. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I've seen a lot of Chinese players when they're playing this Legion command, and he instantly queues it up. Understand?
The pipe, yeah.
Yeah, the pipe just feels very natural here. AA Blast connects on Snapfire.
Tiger down. Stinger and Whisper set up
Radiant's
for it.
bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like Whisper's going for that same build again. The Greaves into the Yule Scepter so they can have an additional form of catch or TP cancel.
Very limited on stuns right now. If Tiny is dead, if there's no Leshrac around, one of the big plays that Liquid can make is use that 100 gold item, TP back to base.
It was Aegis
Dire
expended though,
structures are
so
fortified.
Liquid, even with a couple of victories under their belt, maybe not going to be as bold as they were with 2 lives on Sumail for the next team fight. And Mickey, what is he now? 1200 away from the Aghanim Scepter. Just needs a little more time to keep on farming. Pops his Essence Ring and Hood, runs away from the Tiny, afraid of what was lurking in the shadows there from Beastcoast. A very patient approach to this game from Team Liquid.
Tiny doesn't have a clear target to go on. It's a position for Tiny, so it's just Avatos. You're using 2 of your spells, don't get too much value from your ulti. 3 grab, not even there. Even if you get it, it's really weak compared to mid-Tinies, and when you have an Echo Saber. So if he can get on top of Oracle, that'd be great. Can't even blow him up instantly. Oracle a bit too tanky with the Magic Wand and Cloak.
Oh, nice. That has to be his prime target, right? Go for that combo. Set up for an ice potentially. And that's going to come down to vision from Beastcoast, as it looks like K1 forced to use his ulti very early on. Has a bit of backup from
Dire's
Stinger,
bottom
Whisper.
tower is under
Avalanche
attack.
to disengage. Mickey just keeps chasing. Toss back, gets K1 out of there, but
Radiant's top
Schofield,
tower is under
that Melt
attack.
Strike, minus armor. They miss uphill, but this Tiny, oh my god, how many misses was that? 3 in a row?
I'm just clicking on Tiny and see that he has 12 armor constantly. That was 3 or 4 misses in a row.
Melt Strike misses, a couple of hits miss. That's the
Dire's
blink
bottom
away.
tower is under attack.
Well, unfortunate for Team Liquid. Could have potentially been that option for them to get a kill, move up to the tier 1 tower top, but instead they have to fall back, shove their lanes, farm jungle a little more defensively.
I was wondering what K1 was trying to make with all his items. First, it was just a casual Ogre Axe, thinking about what he's gonna get next. And now going back to Manta style, where you have a dispel mechanic against the goo, against like Snapfire minus armor, and you have a way to outpush the lanes without being there.
We have seen a couple of times he goes for like S and Y and then splits them into Manta Halberd, but I guess this time he's figuring I need the Manta now, and I'll go for the Halberd and the Sandra a little bit later on, just tank up.
Casual Sange is something that a lot of strength carries are doing, where you get the spell, where you get the HP amplification, you get the damage, you get the tankiness, pretty much everything you want to get. And it's cheap, it's easy to make.
Yeah, I mean, this is Vadden basically a pseudo Wraith King. That looks like Mickey. I'm going to shove out that top wave with a backup of Insania. Has the Aghanims done at long last. Eternal Shroud also queued up for that Bristleback. That's a point at which he becomes increasingly difficult to handle. And Beastcoast do bring the numbers up here. Under Radiant Vision, though, Liquid have seen exactly what's up in that top part of the map. So they just avoid it. They don't want to get embroiled in any long extended team fights right now. They are primarily waiting for that second Roshan to respawn and look to fight around that instead. And you were right, Koikfa finishes the pipe and goes into that Aghanim Shard.
That shard is so good. If you hear me talking about, like, this is a top 5 shard, I have a list of 15 shards that I fit into top 5. Don't ask me how, but it's something that I noticed I'm doing.
That's a good way to do it. You've got your favorite, you've got a short list. They just put them into top 5 whenever you see it in a game. You're like, oh, this is there. This is one of the best ones. Oh, again, very similar itemization from BC. That Halberd into Shiva's Guard coming from the Venomancer. Try and slow down, stop the Bristleback, and the TA, of course, increasing your armor tremendously. But another timing to be hit here from Liquid equally with a BKB on Sumail. And it almost feels like neither of these teams really want to be searching for a fight. They don't want to be smoking and hunting for any kind of battles. They just want to be pushing out waves, controlling map. It's a very macro style of gameplay.
They're waiting for the next Roche. Both of these teams feel very comfortable fighting in their Roche pit. They're still trapped, sitting there, so they know something is up. Beastcoast, Observer Ward, sitting on top of a Sentry Ward. Someone needs to pass there to actually be able to kill it. Stinger. Ghost Scepter available, so at least he has a defense item against all this physical damage that's coming out.
Yeah, and Mickey just going to put himself in front of that bottom tier 2. Bully back Beastcoast. I've brought everyone down here, Team Liquid. Koikva, without a Blink Dagger, doesn't really have that great ability to make the jump and catch, so it is very much that waiting game. Bide your time, hold the staircase, look for Beastcoast to walk into you. Well, like you mentioned, Roshan, the next port of call here really for both teams, and in 3 seconds we'll see how long it'll take.
I was just trying to figure out how Beastcoast is... How can they summon more power to their own team? And then I realized, what if they buy like 5 Nim Scepters? You know, maybe that's how they channel their inner strength.
Oh yeah, you just made that one up.
I did, Gary.
Oh, Lacoste, the classic.
Bristleback, Eternal Shroud down, now going into Lotus Orb next. He's ready to go, like, he needs to be not hit by AA Blast.
Oh, Koikva gets clipped by it. Tossed back into the Split Earth, Ice Blast, and the damage from Whisper. Koikva down. And an opening here with no buyback on the Legion Commander. This could be Roshan for BC. Mickey and Sumail, they're aiming K1. Man to jump down, who's got these illusions that can silence you up. Sumail, tanked by that Curse of Avernus. Still wanting to control the Roche pit, even in a 4 versus 5.
Try to poke it, see what happens.
Beastcoast are angry. I wouldn't start poking them. Schofield looking for a jump. Stinger has the Ice Blast back again. They're not only defending Roshan against any sneak from Liquid, but also pushing the top tier 2 tower at the same time. Curse with the catapult wave. And K1, Grislock and Whisper breaking fast up towards high ground. They're going for tier 3. Very early part of the game here for them as the split up under the TP of Mickey. K1 trying to fall back. He doesn't have any real support here.
He needs some help.
Bended, and he doesn't have the help he needs. No backup coming. K1 is tanking sure, but the minus armor stacks up quickly with a duel there. They'll snipe him out. 74 seconds with no Abaddon, and suddenly that script is flipped. Liquid have the chance to go Roshan now.
Overextended. Tiny was not there this time around to use tossback on one of these allies, and this is a huge victory for Team Liquid. Let's see if Beastcoast still wants to take this fight inside the pit, because the second Roche is probably the most important Roche in the game, giving you cheese Aegis plus a shard. First Roshan doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
So that first Aegis is not that important, but the second one, let's see who decides to get the shard. Templar Assassin has it. She bought the one for herself. Bristleback picked it up from Roshan. So both Scepter and Shard.
Very nice.
Done. Hairball. One of the best ones.
In the top 5 or not?
No, not in the top 5, but still like 8-tier shard.
It's definitely up there.
Gary, you as a native speaker, how did we come from, like we have a list, of course, like we have A, B, C, and then we needed to think of something that's better than A, and then we came up with the letter S.
I think it came from fighting games, or I know it came from like Korean or Japanese games for sure, but I don't know exactly what it means. It's like super tier or something, or supreme tier. I'm sure someone can correct us if we're wrong. But I'm not exactly sure what the details around it is, but S tier right up at the top. And Liquid in an S tier position. Like you say, with that second Roshan so important for them. But a good move again from Beastcoast, manipulating the map so they've got bottom and mid both pushing in towards Radiant's base and trying to fall back and distract Liquid here.
Oh, let's see. I thought for a second
he can cancel both. Cancel TPs. Schofield stops the press on TA. They're pushing high ground. Schofield, he stops the defense. Liquid are going to have their base cracked wide open.
This is such a big play, and also the fact that they were standing on top of each other. He has inventory. Like, a lot of things need to align for you to do something like this.
Well, they weren't expecting that, were
It was just perfect.
Spot on stuff from Schofield. And now Beastcoast, they're the ones to come back. TP reacts back onto the Snapfire and a dominating streak for Whisper. Well-deserved tips for Schofield. After the job's done, here you go, lad.
Couple of tips. Oh. You know what, Garrett? This is why Dota is such a beautiful game. You can always make something happen.
One move.
Like, you think he can't blow anyone up. He is... You know, he can save people with the tossback, and in this game, he lands a two-man avalanche, which leads to a full barrack place.
Yeah, and it was almost a preemptive move, right? Because we looked at that map positioning from Beastcoast. They were pushing mid-tier 2, they were pushing bottom lane towards tier 3 with Whisper there, and Schofield had been sent back. He was the one that retreated all the way to his top lane, not really looking to defend the tier 2, but to stop any TPs to make that opening for the rest of his team. And Liquid now left scratching their heads, wondering what they're meant to do to shut this Beastcoast side down. They will come back in force, back to this mid lane, clearing up objectives and towers. But 2 minutes left on the Aegis. They've weathered the storm here almost, Beastcoast.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Do we go high ground as Liquid? They are very tentatively moving backwards. And now they always have to contend with this dead lane bottom, like Tiger kind of stuck down there. Required to shove out these waves.
This time around, Leshrac going for a bit of a different build, more late game oriented. He wants to be able to scale, match up the later stages of the game, finishing Greaves, Yule Scepter, so they have a setup, and now going into the Bloodstone, the spell amplification makes him more tanky, more survivable in the team fight. Still want to go for the same item build, at least what he has queued up, a Ghost Scepter and a Heaven's Halberd.
Still get those defensive items going. Well, yeah, 11 to 11. Not really much of a net worth lead in this either. Sumail still up at the top, 20,000 net worth hit now, 31 minutes in. TA starting to become very, very strong, especially when that crit, that full Daedalus, will be delivered in a second or two. There is the potential, you know, to burst through the Abaddon even before he can get his borrowed time off. If you get enough damage into him.
It's not as easy. Yeah, it's doable. Maybe if we have, let's say, certain heroes like Lion, here crit with Daedalus can make it work. Other abilities are just not there. And, you know, K1, he's ABBA expert. So has that button ready all the time, on top of the GA button that he can spam in the old chat.
And he's also building that AC to try and build up his armor as well, right? The Halberd, the Radiance Mischance, the AC, all acting against the TA, and even the Bristleback, who can rely quite heavily on his right-click attacks, not just the Quill Spray.
ABBA's talents are insane. He gets 65 damage on level 15, he gets a CDR on level 20, and then on level 25. His shard is... you know, okay-ish. It's nothing too spectacular, but if you run out of the slots, you might get it. The Aghanim Scepter is really great. Costs a lot of money, but he might need to go to the walls.
Yeah, Whisper spending a lot of time pushing that bottom lane. Another dual victory there for Koifa.
A bit too greedy, considering you have S creeps there. I don't know what we want to call them. These are not
super creeps.
Super creeps.
Yeah.
Not the super mega creeps, but
just the super small, yeah, super creeps. Oh, GA traps. Trying the body blocks. Gets out the press the attack. Chris Luck trying to slip away from this one with a Ghost Scepter Shiver's Guard. In comes Schofield, Mikino backstabbing. A jump on a TA, disarmed and has to BKB up. Look at K1, goes straight to the back line for the Temple Assassin, hunting the ancient apparition. Stinger blown up. Well, K1 is 1v3. Aiming Tiger, trying to get through him with Schofield. Here comes the combo, but he doesn't finish anybody off. K1's borrow time is going to wear off as well, and Schofield left stranded. Another dual victory for Koifa.
And they're not done. Liquid's still chasing ABBA. He should be able to get out the TP. Not gonna be able to make it, but yeah. Follow-up damage. They need Leshrac, they need AA Blast to connect ABBA. Very tanky, very annoying in the front line. We can see Sumail popping up BKB while being disarmed to stop receiving damage, and then 2 shots Ancient Apparition. Roche may respawn in minute and 20, so this is another big timing for both of these teams. Who can get it? Cheese, Aegis +1.
Yeah, but we look at this bottom lane as well, right? Liquid have to keep coming down and pruning, maintaining this bottom lane with the creeps coming in. So it is increasingly difficult for them to actually get towards the Roche pit.
It's gonna be much easier once Templar Assassin gets that Aghanim Scepter done. True. It's like having a better boots of travel. Mel dispels, another way of dispelling things on Templar Assassin. So you can dispel the dust, you can dispel the stuff from the Venomancer. Level 25, sorry Gary, but level 25, let's talk about this one.
Yeah,
You have 1 second melt bash, or you have 8 refraction instances.
Which one do you want to go for?
I want to see 14 refraction charges in total.
All the damage over time?
Yeah, because you have a dispel mechanic as well, then you have a small BKB coming out from the LC, Koikwa,
Fast blasted, scouted out by Schofield and Whisper. And this last track helped by Chris Luck to pick off the Legion Commander. And 14 seconds for Roshan fast spawn.
You know what the big brain play there would be? Because it's the same sound. This needs to be fixed. Press the attack with the shard, gives the BKB sound. You use it, and then you TP out. And they're like, yeah, we can't stop it. You know, but
he's BKB, what can we do?
But the duration is not long enough. Like something that could potentially get you out of the trouble. Most likely not. These are professional e-athletes, e-gamers, Gary, they know.
E-sporters.
Yeah, they clicked on the heroes.
With a capital E, a capital S, and a dash in between.
Capital S. Did you say that?
I absolutely did not. You heard nothing. Tier 2 tower mid lane lift up by Team Liquid. Catapult wave handled by Mickey. But K1, he's another story. The Beast. On this Abaddon. Shreds through your structures. Hot knife through butter. And they've got 2 lanes pushing in as well. Top and mid. Well, what's the timer on Roshan Lacoste? How long until the big man's back up?
1 minute and 49 seconds, Gary.
Quite a while.
Templar Assassin hit level 25, took those refraction instances going into MKB. Running out of slots, we'll need the...
Belt? Is he in a car? He's got a seatbelt on.
Safety first, Gary.
He strapped himself in for this game. High octane video gaming from Beastcoast. They've got the bucket seat, they've got the seat belts on, the harness is strapped in. Shadow Blade for K1, and that's going to help him get into the back, look for the Oracle.
Needs to turn off the Radiance. I think the idea here is I want to be able to break people, most importantly Bristleback, because right now if they miss AA Blast, if AA gets jumped, they just don't have enough damage to deal with the Bristleback. Against Venomancer, against Tiny, it's all chip damage. Lashrak, you know, he's strong, but Bristleback with all these items, he's super jacked.
And he can deal with these K1 illusions quite easily. Pops his Eternal Shroud, turns and hits them a few times, they're gone. Liquid still having a few issues breaking past Plague Wards, getting through these illusions. Pushing across the river it's just a constant uphill battle they're having to fight against Beastcoast, who have controlled this map superbly. And TA has to go back down towards bottom as Roshan is 35 seconds away. Liquid look like they want to make a move. Try and find some kind of opening here. One pick off. Could be the difference, but Tiger links away. Mickey towards Whisper. There's the duel on Chris Luck, but I think he's got his Ghost Center off. The Ice Blast landing at the corner for now. The top starting now while Whisper survives and breaks back up to high ground. Sumail's BKB allows him to shrink through Schofield and back onto the Ancient Apparition with Roshan about to spawn.
And he TP'd back to base. K1, he's going for the big plays. He wants that mid barracks.
He's taken down the tier 3. The melee axe is gone. Liquid have to come back and try and defend. They've got the dust. The Shadow Blade's not going to work out for him this time, but he's got borrowed time. TP home, and he stuns. There it is. The Scatter Blast captures him out, and K1, sure you're speedy, tanky them out to the runaway. The face boost to try and skip out with a spider leg.
Can he get on the side?
No, he can't make it. He can't make it.
Generation.
That was close. I mean, he would still probably die, but maybe he could have tried a maneuver with the cooldown reduction talent. It lowers the cooldown of the neutral enemies as well. Sumail. There's the
traps.
There's the trap, lots of silence.
And a TP.
Doesn't have any way of stopping the TP. They could go inside the pit. It's a refresher. I think they would prefer if that's an Aghanim Scepter, potentially give that to even Snapfire, which is a nice save. You can also give it to Oracle, which is one of the best ones, but the refresher, who's gonna even use it? Maybe double duel, double Oracle. Ulti, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
And Roshan just disappeared. A matter of seconds there. You blink your eye, he's gone. 50 seconds now for that Abaddon to respawn. And Liquid have done a good job pressing forward. Mid, top lane, converging towards the Dire base. Okay. He's up to the high ground, but they've got press the attack. They've got heals behind him. Insane is ready. And a drop of the hat to pull the trigger on his false promise. They disarm the Bristle for now, but that means that Sumail can come in and starting buildings. They toss back Mickey, but miss the splitter. Bristleback also the one holding Aegis. So even with that Ice Blast and the Avalanche following through, he stays at half HP. Incredibly tanky here on Mickey, and Liquid, they can keep this one down. Put their foot, oh, the blink back. Sumail dodges. Gets away from the split earth toss. Good attempt for Beastcoast, but Liquid really finger on the pulse this time around as they get up to this top tier 3.
K1 finally out.
Respawns after a long time in jail. Looking to defend and hold on to this set of buildings. Run straight in towards the shield pulpit. Looking for the silence on Mickey. Gets that cursor of Avernus on it. But K1 taking a huge amount of damage here. It doesn't look like, oh, the toss, the jump in, the duel, they're going to catch him out. Oh, the Ice Blast is coming straight on top of them. Insania. K1 found the slice into the back lines. Buyback immediately from the Oracle as the Tiny will follow suit. K1's borrowed time, still going. And Mickey caught out in the split earth. Bristleback's first life, still up and running, and Sumail has the cheese. So with this duel play, Tiger comes back in to help take down Tiny. A double for the Snapfire, and K1 is struggling to find a target he can stick on.
Oh man, that refresher on Legion Commander allowing him to lock down Tiny twice. K1 doesn't have ulti for 5 seconds.
He's dead.
No buyback.
He's gone for a minute and a half. Dead for such a long time. Chris Lowe brought back, so did Schofield. So no Tiny, no Abaddon, and Liquid looking to close this one out.
Whisper is out. He TP'd to pick up the Bounty Rune. Maybe we'll farm a triangle or try to go for some wave cutting.
And they still have false promise. They still have that save ability, even though they spent the cheese. Tier 4 time now for Liquid as they blow up Stinger. Tier 4's a falling in Chris Lowe. He gets off his Poison Nova, try and chip away at Liquid, but they can't stem the flow. The damage is too great. Substantial move here from Liquid to close out Game 2.
This is it, Gary. I don't think they have enough. Abaddon gone for 50 seconds. This